Hi guys, it's a gorgeous day out here and I've come outside into the garden with the intention of cutting a beautiful Father's Day bouquet. And I think I'm going to start by using the seed heads on this Veronica as a filler. It makes a really nice green filler, has wonderful structure. I'm just going to cut some branches like this, and I'm going to be leaving the purple parts for the bees. They're still enjoying the flowers. And I'm just going to cut right down here, right above some leaves, so that can grow back out, if you can see. And I have a nice stalk here. I can strip the leaves from the bottom and use that as an interesting filler. I think that is so pretty. Sometimes you have to think outside the box for your flowers, but it's always fun to make a summer bouquet and see what is blooming in the garden. And the bees are so busy around this Veronica. It's a real bee magnet. So I'm going to take a few stalks of these, and in the meantime, when you cut them back like this, it's like a Chelsea chop. They'll just grow fuller, and it's good for the plant, and good, you know, it keeps your garden, your flowers from falling over, keeps the garden pretty as well. My Sweet William, which I've been enthralled with, is almost finished blooming. The blooms are fading, but it appears that some of the darker ones are still in bloom. The other ones are going over to seed, which of course thrills me. There's black seed in there, so of course I won't use those, but some of these look really nice, so I think I'm going to add those in. Let me cut a few of those. I kind of like that they're a smaller size too. Some of these blooms are just going to be very easy to work into a bouquet, and I'm not worried too much about the length. I cut them generously so I can trim them down to fit my bouquet. And I do have a little bird family being raised right up there in that gourd. I have a bird family being raised up here, hanging from the tree in a gourd birdhouse. So every time I come back here, I'm scolded by the mother bird. But isn't that a thrill? Little bird families being raised right in there. So cute. So I won't stay back here too long disturbing the mother bird. I found more Sweet William than I thought I had. I think those will be a beautiful addition to my bouquet. One shrub everybody should have who's interested in cutting some flowers is a hydrangea. This one is a little lime, and the blooms are so delicate. They're green, and they're just like a lace. They're so fine. And there's so many wonderful varieties of hydrangea, and they just make a wonderful cut flower to put in arrangements. So I'm going to take a couple of these and add them in. Just beautiful. And also, that means I am pruning my hydrangea, and it will thicken up. I've got my first zinnia blooming, so I think I'll take these three and put them in my bouquet. And lucky for me, everything is coordinating with the colors, so this will be beautiful. Let me take a cut on those zinnia plants. Zinnias make some of my favorite cut flowers. Look at that. This is just a common zinnia, but they're so beautiful. Here's another beautiful hydrangea. I can use one or two of the flowers. I'm telling you, they're wonderful. I love to have flowering shrubs that I can cut for my bouquets. This is one of my favorite hydrangeas. It's called the Quick Fire Hydrangea, and it has a beautiful panicle bloom. And it's almost like a lace cap. It does eventually open all together, but look at this. This is a bloom that's partly opening, and it looks so pretty in bouquets. So I may cut one or two sprigs from this one. They are really gorgeous. I think they'd add a lot to the bouquet. Seems to me we have enough flowers to put together a beautiful bouquet in pink and white. So let's see how this looks all together. I always like to start with the filler first and then plug in my feature flowers. So I really think this Veronica that's gone to seed heads is just really pretty this time of year. And here's what we ended up with. I am just delighted. How lucky am I that everything in my garden that happens to be blooming right now coordinates well with one another. They really play well together in the vase. I think my favorite is the quick fire hydrangea, which at some point all of the blooms will be open, but as they're starting to open, look how lacy that looks. I think that is such a beautiful and unusual flower for cut flower arrangements. But I fussed over this quite a while to make sure that I thought it was pretty from all sides. And you do have to cut yourself off at some point because you could fuss over it for a lot longer than is really necessary. But isn't that pretty, guys? I think it's pretty from many different angles. I love the flowers I chose. And I think if this flower arrangement says anything, it says make sure that you have different types of hydrangeas in your yard, because really there's a lot of different types. There's 3 different types of hydrangea, and it kind of saves you when some other flowers aren't in bloom. So I'm very happy that I had those 3 to pick from. I'm happy that some of my Sweet William are still blooming away out there, and that is another one of my cut flowers. And zinnia are another favorite cut flower, but there really aren't too many out there yet. So I'll be able to do some more cut flower arrangements with zinnias as the season progresses, but I'm delighted with what I found in the garden. And I used to work at a law firm 35 years ago. I worked for about 5 years as a receptionist. And in those 5 years, many bouquets of flowers were delivered for the people that worked there. And it's kind of sad, but only one of them was for a man. And he was so tickled when his wife sent him anniversary flowers that I realized that men like flowers too. So I thought I'd take this opportunity and give my husband a bouquet on Father's Day to celebrate what a great father he is. I hope that anybody out there celebrating has a wonderful day. And thanks so much for tuning in, walking around my garden, and joining me as I make this Father's Day bouquet. I'll see you next time.